Welcome everyone to another episode of Nerdstrodamus. I'm Dr. Pants.
I'm Lambo.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone out there in are we calling it Nerd Nation?
Nerd Nation.
Nerd Nation. So it is the end of the year. It's the end of 2022.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really glad this year's over.
Yeah, it was a year. We didn't show up a lot. I mean, if you showed up for Friday streams, we were there pretty religiously through a lot of the year.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But we haven't posted a lot of videos lately. Thankfully, Punk picked up the slack and he did a couple of videos.
Yeah. Check out What the Game, his game show. Episodes 1, 2, and
no, just 1 and 2 are out.
1 and 2 are out right now. There's 3 more though. Oof.
Are there 3 more?
Yeah, there's 3
Wow,
more.
so if you've been enjoying that, let us know in the comments because I'm sure he can keep going. He's got plenty of ideas. We'll be coming back with, of course, episodes of just you and us because maybe you love us. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Would you rather just see Punk? Do you want us? Let us know. Maybe I just need validation.
We all need validation.
We all need validation.
That's BS. We all need validation.
But I want to take a minute and be frank, because here at Nerdstrodamus, we have strived to make content, we have strived to put out videos and work together and whatnot. And this year, during the summer, sadly, my father passed away, and it has taken a lot out of me. The past few years have been very, very difficult. Thankfully, I have some very, very good friends between all the Nerdstrodamus crew and everybody else out there. So I'm doing better. And it was a really tough time, and I didn't feel like making content, and I didn't feel like working on content because it was just stuck in my own head. But I'm not here to make excuses, just letting everyone know it was a little rough, but Lambo and I have been talking, and we're planning on coming back beginning of 2023 strong. We were, actually before this, working on writing our next episode.
Woo-hoo.
So, yeah, but what we thought we'd do here is we would brighten it up, and we would recall our favorite gaming Christmas memories.
Yeah. So, when you're a kid and you have no money, there's only a couple of times of the year where you're you're gonna get a game.
Right.
You ask for you wait. In the really, really early days, obviously I got my first Super Nintendo, my first game console that I could call mine. I got it for my that was 1995-ish, 1994-ish.
It was 1992, man.
That was when it came out, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it until I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in the middle of 2nd grade. At Christmas time, I ended up getting my Super Nintendo, a copy of Super Mario World, and a separate copy of Super Mario All-Stars. And it was wonderful. Because I remember just before that, Star Fox had come out.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a kiosk at the Walmart that near us. And I remember I actually got in trouble. So my mom was like, Lambo, watch your little brother, and
so you have to watch Dad.
Well, and so I'm just in the thing, and I think she came back for him and called me, and then it just assumed that I came along, and then because a couple of minutes passed, and I'm just playing Star Fox, because playing Star Fox when you've never really played a video game before in your whole life,
mind blowing in 1995.
And I'm doing all this 3D vector stuff, and I'm doing my thing, and then suddenly I feel a hand on my arm, and it was like, Lambo, where were you? And I'm like, I was right here playing the video. And
to be fair, when your mom is mad, she's frightening. She's terrifying.
Yeah. You better run, boy.
You better run, boy. Whole different story. No. And so when I got a game system, I think the idea was, and my parents were talking he's old enough, he can read. I was very, very, very. I mean, I associate all these weird memories with it because I played video games and had a game console late enough in my life that I actually developed all these weird ideas in my head about what video games were even like. I had these little moments I would play at arcade and stuff like that. Oh yeah.
But I have these weird memories I think back to, because every once in a while I would see a Game Boy kiosk. And I would play 2 minutes of a game, and I would get this weird idea about what it was like to play that game. This little world inside there.
Oh. Okay.
And honestly, gaming ended up being very different than I imagined. It was way less immersive.
Yeah.
And I think games today are a lot more like I expected games to be back then, which is interesting. Yeah, I expected them to be a lot more intelligent and like immersive. I think that was.
I'm following you. I'm following you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can talk about that in a different.
Yeah, I know. We can totally talk about
I feel
that.
I feel like I have a very different opinion about that. But
But that was I think that was my unique situation because I really didn't play a lot of video games at all growing up, and then when I finally got them.
Well, you say growing up, but that was like until the age of like 10.
The age of like it was like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because by the time you and I started like being friends and whatnot.
Oh yeah, we were. I was far down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Drunk the Kool-Aid.
See, for me, I cannot remember a time we didn't have video games in the house because we had an Atari 2600. I remember getting the NES when I was like 4. I got the SNES when I was like 5, and then from there, like there were always games in the house. So I mean, I could talk about my Christmas when I got the N64, which was like really, really exciting because I didn't expect it. There was the year I got the Sega Genesis, and like they didn't give me the Genesis; they gave me games.
Yeah.
And they knew I had like a Super Nintendo, and they were like. And I opened up like Sonic 2 and I'm like, I can't play this. I don't have a Sega. And they're like, oh, we're really sorry. We must have got it for a wrong system. And I opened up like a bunch of other games. And then they handed me this big box. It was a Sega Genesis.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's
clever.
That's tricky.
That's tricky.
Oh.
But what I want to bring up is a lot of my favorite Christmases, and this goes back to my dad, because my parents got divorced when I was 12. I know. I'm bumming everybody down.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You got this.
But my dad was not the kind of person to give toys because he always called it plastic junk. So I never got Transformers or anything from him or any toys. Of course, I was 12 and like getting out of that anyway. But he would get me video games because he loved playing video games too. He's a lot of the reason I play. And man, those years at his apartment for Christmas is when I got some of the best video games ever. I remember one Christmas getting Final Fantasy VIII, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Yeah, like stuff like that.
Good stuff.
Mega Man X4, Mega Man 8. One year was Zone of the Enders, Kingdom Hearts, Robotech Battle Cry, like...
the good stuff.
Like, I just... And here's the deal is, like, he and I would go to midnight service at church, we would come back, and then it would be Christmas Day, and he'd let me open my gifts, because he knew that the next morning I'd have to go to my mom's, and I'd have to go to my grandparents, and my step-grandparents, and everything, so he'd be like, just open your gifts now. And I'd open them, and then I'd stay up all night playing them. Like, I wouldn't sleep Christmas Eve to Christmas Day. I just wouldn't sleep. I would stay up all night playing these games, and a lot of these games became some of my favorites. Like, that era of video gaming is some of my favorites.
Yeah, no, that's
so
nothing
good.
but good memories from that era.
Oh my god. Mega Man X4 is like one of my favorite Christmas memories, because I just played that all Christmas break. I loved it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah. My dad was always up on, like, the games, and he was always like, let's get the newest console and everything, so, yeah. So like those are my favorite gaming Christmases with him, and it's always been really, really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like, it's interesting. We were like, in a very, very like stringent way told like, no, like we were not that family that opened like one gift on Christmas Eve or anything like that. We had to wait until like, and my brother and I we would get up and it would be like 5:30 in the morning, and we're like
get up!
And
Santa's been here.
We would look down the hallway, and like our parents were like very. They would be like, not until we're ready to get up. We're like, well, when's that gonna be? All right, 6 a.m. So I remember one, like we were just up, and we threw on like cartoons and stuff. We're watching it in our room. I remember we watched like 2 episodes of Phantom 2099 or whatever. I remember, so it was I was in 3rd grade, so it was the second Christmas, and the big game that came out in between me getting my Super Nintendo and then was Donkey Kong Country. What a good one!
Oh,
right,
so good.
That was.
Oh, it's so good.
So, and the game came out somewhere like around September-ish, like well before that, and obviously it was going to be the big game of the holiday season. I remember there was a choice because the Power Rangers game had come out around the same time, and the Donkey Kong Country game, and I didn't know what my parents got me. And as time got closer to Christmas, I was like, oh man, I kind of regret telling my parents anything about the Power Rangers game because there's no way it was going to be as good. And I've played it since. I played the Power Rangers game. It's all right. It's all right. It's actually pretty decent, but it's not there. Yeah. And so I get to a game. It feels like a game box, and I open it up, and it's a copy of The Rocketeer for Super Nintendo. Now, no one knew it at the time. But The Rocketeer is a garbage game.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Does anyone out there know what The Rocketeer is?
Oh, it's yeah. But it's notoriously just dumb and hard. And Oh my god! And so I look at it and I go, this is nice. And I'm really trying to play it up like, this is really nice. I'm glad you guys thought of me. This is good.
Wow.
And I put it down and I try to be as stoic as possible. And then there's this other present. It's like oddly shaped. And I open it up and it's a whole mess of like weird wrapping paper made to shape like something else.
Yeah.
And with a copy of Donkey Kong Country.
There you go. Do you know what game actually came out around the same time as all that?
What?
Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I actually got that and Donkey Kong Country at the same time, so like, that would have been a good one too.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't have many more like unique stories. I remember getting the Nintendo 64 and playing Mario 64 like that whole.
Yeah. Well, and that Christmas was crazy because the Nintendo 64 was kind of rare to find.
It was.
And
there were only 2 games.
Oh, and like Cruising USA was out by the time Christmas came.
Was it?
Yeah, it was out by the time Christmas was there, but it wasn't a launch title.
Okay.
But Cruising USA was also there because my brother and I, we saved up all of our Christmas money that year and went and bought it after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got Kirby Superstar that Christmas.
I got Mario RPG that Christmas, and that was because of you, because you let me play it at your house, and I'm like, I need this game.
It was so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have one other one.
Yes.
I have one other really good one. There's not much of a story behind it, but Christmas 1998.
Okay, go for it.
You probably know what it was I got, but Christmas 1998, my step-grandparents like always asked for a list for Christmas because they just wanted to know what I wanted. And they would get me things off that list and very rarely would stray from it. And the big thing I wanted was Pokemon Blue.
Ooh.
Pokemon Blue. Ooh. And like, I didn't know for sure they were getting it for me, but I showed up Christmas 1998 with my big original Game Boy, the big gray block, not a pocket.
Nope.
Not a pocket.
The old DMG.
The old, yeah. Busted pixels on the screen, like the whole screen was not visible anymore, but it was enough to get me through it. And I unwrapped it, and I just plugged it in, and I played it. I played it the whole day. We went to the great-grandparents. I did not interact with anybody. I played Pokemon. I remember being there at the great-grandparents for dinner, and I'm like sitting in an easy chair, and I'm like, oh yeah, Geodude! And like, I just,
yeah.
It's a magical time. It's a magical time. But, you know, I'm sure we all have that, or around the holidays. I mean, people, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I'm sure around the holidays you've had some kind of break where maybe you spent some time playing video games, or you're able to get together with family or friends and be able to play. I mean, Lord knows this break's going to come up and we're going to play games.
Yeah. It's kind of a tradition.
Yeah.
You know? It's just the way things are.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because games have punctuated a lot of the major, you know, Christmases of my time. And even though I got other gifts that obviously meant a lot to me and were important to me, you know, during those times, the games were something that I could like, I can go back and I can re-experience it. And then sometimes I even get that weird little wispy nostalgic feeling, like I almost remember what it was like to be there.
Yeah.
And nothing else can really do that except for like music and stuff like that.
Right. But there's something special about it when it punctuates like a really good happy moment in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, Mega Man X4 really does that for me because like playing that, I always remember the Christmas I got that. Medieval was another one. And anytime I boot up Mario 64, I kind of get that like nostalgic rush of like Christmas.
Oh yeah, well not only that, like some of the early levels of the game were like, you know, the snow level and stuff. And it's super weird how it all like, you know, kind of comes together like that. Donkey Kong Country has some of those icy levels too.
Oh yeah.
And it just gives you that Christmassy feeling.
It does.
Yeah.
Anyway. For those of you out there, let us know. Do you have any holiday gaming memories? Any presents you got or time you spent? Or, like, does this time of the year bring about any memories for you? Any good, happy memories? Because you know what?
Hopefully good ones.
Well, here's the deal. I think after the last couple of years, we need some positivity.
We do.
We need some good memories and some good stories. So do us a favor. Share your stories down below in the comments. Let us know. But you know what? We're going to try and enjoy ourselves. We're going to spend some time gaming. We're going to spend some time filming. And we're going to bring you all some content. Expect another video before the end of the year. We might be doing some kind of, you know, our favorite games of the year, our least favorite games of the year. Maybe something, or it's something completely different. Who knows? We know
Only us.
because we're writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually write stuff. Do you know that? Do you know we take notes? We don't just sit here and like, well, we want to talk about this.
Except we did it for totally.
Yeah, we totally did it for this episode. But anyway, thank you all for liking, commenting, subscribing. Thank you to everyone who has been here with us through the past 6 years, because this is the end of year 6.
I know.
It's kind of nuts, right?
It's super nuts.
Yeah, we're gonna start year 7.
It's terrifying.
It has been like about 20% of our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing this about 20% of our life. That's nuts.
That's nuts.
That is nuts.
Yeah. Anyway,
thanks for watching, and for Nerdstrodamus, I'm Dr. Pants.
Lambo.
Happy holidays, everyone. And we'll catch you some other time.